Boom, boom, boom. All right, let's go. Turn this up a little bit. This has been my jam for like 3 days straight. All right, shake the legs out, shake the arms out. Let's start with those jumping jacks. All right, so just getting the heart rate up just a little bit here as we move into the workout. Not cardio heavy, but we do definitely want to sort of be awake, look alive, and have the blood pumping through the muscles. This workout is all about paying attention to form, to core, and to where the movement is coming from, really. Which joint is moving, the hips are tilting in which direction, and really paying attention to core doing most of the work. All right, keep it going for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and switch over to those high kicks, getting the toes up as high as you can. This was perfect. We had that leg workout on Thursday. Felt great. Went out to load some wood. I'm like preaching to the choir here, right? Went out to load some wood. Wasn't thinking much about it. Came in and I was like, oh. So like old lady style. Had a heating pad on my back for 3 hours. So I was like, I'm really glad this is not cardio sculpt and this is core mobility. All right, keep those toes up. One more each side. Bring it to the center, knees to chest here. Squeeze that knee all the way in. Rotate that leg to the side and drop to the mat. Starting to wake up that core to keep you stabilized. Paying attention to the heel and the toe staying connected to the mat. If you feel like you're losing balance a little bit, imagine sort of spreading your toes so you're covering a little bit more ground. Helps to stabilize. Larger surface area connected to that mat. One more each side. Hug it in. Open nice and wide. Drop that mat one more time. Open and drop. Well done. Nice wide stance here. Arms up and out to the side. Go ahead and pull through those fingertips right to left. Just gently start to wake up that upper body. Get the shoulders moving. You guys know this core workout, we're not doing any straight shoulder work, but there's a lot of stabilization that comes from the shoulders. We sort of move through that plank position quite a bit here. I do give us some breaks, but just make sure you're feeling warmed up and ready to go there. Let's go one more each side, all the way through the fingertips. Left. And then go ahead and square those hips up at the top, straighten that lower back, and dive right in to those toe touches. All right. Start waking up those hamstrings. Again, we're going to start this workout on our feet, work our way down to the mat. And like I said, we're just going to flow from one exercise to the next. I will give you that sort of, well, you'll know. We'll reach child's pose, and that'll be our halfway point through the workout. So if you want to sort of pause and grab some water, then that's a good time. Let's go one more each side here. Reach for that toe. And up to the top. Reach for the toe. And right back up to the top. Go ahead and shake those legs out. We're going to move into a little bit more stretching there. But big shoulder rolls forward so those shoulders are awake and moving through a full range of motion. 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and reverse direction. 3, 2, one more big scoop. And 1. Shake those arms out. Okay, so like I said, we're going to start on our feet. Nice wide stance. These are long intervals of work, so don't feel like you have to sort of play catch up or rush through the movements. What I really want you to focus on, again, is the initiation of the core, right? And just so to get the mind into that movement. If you think about doing crunches or planks or anything like that, and when we talk about sort of pressing the lower back into the ground, what we're talking about, right? Anytime an ab movement draws the chest to the pelvic bone, right? That's sort of the rib cage to the pelvic bone. And there's two sort of main ways that you can do that. You can either bend at the hips, right? Or you can use your abs, which is more of a rounding of the back. And you can feel the difference, right? If you just push your butt back, you're not using your abs. You're using your hip flexors and your glutes. But if you round that back, even just standing here and then pull forward, those are the muscles. You can actually feel the muscles doing the work. That's what I want you to focus on here. So, little bit of music. All right, nice wide stance here. Oops. Let's go back one. All right, here we go. This is what I'm doing. Like, where's my 10-second warm-up? Okay, nice wide stance here. We're going to start with some windmills here. So shoulders are feet are just wider than shoulder width apart. Take that deep breath in. You're going to drop the right arm, leave the left arm where it is, and you're just going to slide that right arm down towards the heel as far as you can go and right back up. And you might not get too far this first time through. That's totally fine. I want you to keep the shoulders facing forward. You sort of feel the left shoulder rotate so that palm is facing forward the whole time. Nice straight lines here. Let's do one more on that right side. Reach down the leg, use it for support, and then right back up. Right arm meets the left arm in the center. Drop the left arm and reach for that left side. Again, the right palm stays facing forward, so you sort of feel that rotation in the shoulder, the stretch in the torso, and keep that left hand just guiding you down the leg towards that left heel. One more here, reach. And then straight up through the ceiling, left arm meets the right at the top. You're just gonna let both fall towards the floor. Fingertips on the floor. If you can sort of hold on to those toes, reach for those toes, just really gently drop the butt down into that squat, lift the chest, and then breathe out and straighten those legs back into that sort of toe touch, top of the deadlift or bottom of the deadlift stance. Go ahead and bend and lift the chest. We're just gonna move between this squat and this deadlift stretch. So really feeling those hamstrings here. I want you to think about that butt lowering into the squat and then drop the chest again, lift the butt nice and high and straighten those legs. Starting to wake up the quads here just a little bit. I'm just gonna turn to the side so my mat is in the right position. And up. Let's go into one more squat here. Drop that butt nice and low, lift the chest tall. And then straighten those legs, drop the chest. This time I want you to walk those hands forward so you're in a high plank on the mat. Nice straight lines here, and we're just gonna move right into alternating toe touches. If your toes are nice and wide, that's just fine. If you wanna walk them a little bit towards the center of the mat so that they're more in line with your hand placement, that's fine too. So here's where I really want you to sort of picture what I was talking about before we got started, that rounding of the back to pop those hips up towards the ceiling rather than the hinge of the hips. Makes a little bit of difference there because you want to use your abs. You don't want to just pop the hip bones up towards the ceiling. This is about work. Reach and to high plank. One more reach. Forward into that high plank position. Let's hold for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently drop the hips to the mat into that deep cobra. And then you're going to tuck your toes back under, and again, hips all the way up into that downward dog. And then you're going to pull shoulders forward again into the cobra. So we're moving between cobra and downward dog here. Again, really thinking about that rounded back, right? It's not about the hips, it's about the core. And this is just exaggerating the range of motion that you have to use, engage that core to get those hips all the way up into downward dog. Tuck the toes, moving through it here, focusing on your breathing, sort of matching your breathing to the movements. Keeping those shoulders down and back. One more time into that high plank position, and let's hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to move into runner's lunges here. So stepping that right foot out to the side of the right hand. Nice deep lunges here, alternating sides, step back into the plank, and then step into that left lunge. So these are really deep lunges. They're called runner's lunge because they imitate that sort of starting stance of a sprinter. And you're really starting to feel here the hip flexors come into play. Once again, keeping your mind locked into that really nice plank form, butts down, abs are pulled in towards the spine to keep the core engaged. Breathing through it here. Feeling those shoulders, doing some support work. One more step forward. Back into that high plank position for 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and step between your hands with your right foot. Leave the left hand on the ground and open that right arm all the way up to the ceiling, rotating the torso with it. And back into the center, step back into that high plank, just the right side. Step forward again, right foot forward. Rotate. Down to the mat and step it backwards. Just that right foot is coming forward. That plank form, that plank position is your reset form. Use it to lower that butt down into that nice straight line, to pay attention to what the core is doing. Straighten those lines, tuck that tailbone, and move through the movement here with me. One more time, step it forward. Open up to that side. Both hands down to the mat. Take one step forward. That right foot is in between the hands. Drop the back knee. And we're going to move into 90-90 here. So gently lower that right hip to the mat. Keeping that right foot bent, the left leg bent. Or legs here, not feet. So that front leg is in the 90-degree position. The back leg, 90-degree position. Use your hands here to just sort of manipulate where your body is. Move limbs around. The goal here is to keep the hips level and the shoulders level. So for now, this first time through, leave those fingertips on the ground to support your body sort of shifting in, letting the body sink into this stretch. Chest is nice and tall, shoulders down and back. We're just going to rotate to the opposite side. So what I want you to do is pick up that left knee, press the right foot into the ground, and just rotate 180 degrees, moving those knees nice and slowly until you find yourself facing the complete opposite direction. Takes a little bit of time. Take it nice and slow. We've got plenty of time in these intervals. Once again, you're finding that front leg in a 90-degree position. That back leg is sort of shooting out to the side and again in a 90-degree position. Using your fingertips to keep your chest nice and tall, your back nice and straight, hips and shoulders level. Taking deep breaths in here, giving your brain a chance to recognize that this is a stretch you want it to relax into. You'll feel those muscles sort of loosen a bit as we sit in this stretch. So we're going to move back up into a kneeling position. So fingertips on the floor. I want you to press that left foot into the ground and lift the left hip off the floor. So we're in that kneeling position. Straighten out that back leg. Leave the right hand on the floor, and you're going to go ahead and open that left arm up to the ceiling. Stretch. Open up the torso. Back down to the mat, and we're repeating what we did on that left leg before. So stepping in between the hands with the left foot, open up to the ceiling, and back down to the mat. Always stepping back out into that high plank position. Again, take your time here. Reps aren't nearly as important as you starting to feel comfortable in the steps, in the rotation. Take it nice and slow. These are long work intervals, so we know we're going to get that stretch in. We know we're going to get that core work in. Open to the ceiling. Back to the ground. Step it all the way out into high plank for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, knees to the ground. We're on all fours here. Starting with that right side. You're going to lift that arm straight out in front. Lift. Swipe it down the body to a T, away from your torso, and then tuck that arm under the left armpit. Drop that shoulder to the mat. Touch down, and right back up, reverse direction. T, front raise, and down. Let's stick with this right side again. Lift right out in front of you. To the T, out away from the torso. Tuck that arm under the left armpit. Touch that shoulder down, and right back, reverse direction. Keeping that nice flat back. I want those abs pulled into the spine. So yes, we're sort of working on an arm here, but it's all core work. Right back to the center. This is the last one on the right side. And we'll switch to the left. Raise out in the front. Down to that T. Tuck that hand under the armpit all the way through. Drop the shoulder. And then right back through the top. And forward. Again, nice straight lines here. Nice straight back. I want you to sort of feel like you're squeezing the core so that even as you're just in this all fours position, you can feel the obliques, you can feel the core holding nice and strong. Breathing through it. We're lifting, T, and rotating under that armpit. Drop the shoulder. That's where you're going to feel that oblique. Really exaggerate that twist. Bring it forward back to all fours whenever you're ready. Excellent. Drop down to the forearms. We're going to straighten that right leg out back behind us, and we're just going to do straight leg kicks here. So we're on forearms. Give those shoulders a little bit of a break. Flex that foot. And we're lifting that heel up to the ceiling, dropping the toe back down to the mat, nice and gently here. 3, 2, and 1. Lift up to the top of the movement. Bend the leg so the heel comes in towards the butt, and we're going to move into extensions here. I want you to check your form real quick. Nice straight lines here. Don't let an arch come into that lower back. This lift is all about the glutes. Make sure the hips are facing forward so you're not opening up into that right side. Just draw that right hip forward again. 3, 2, 1. Draw that knee back into the center. Straighten that left leg out and start with those straight leg lifts. So toes are flexed here. Toes are hitting the mat. Heel is moving up towards the ceiling. Taking that deep breath again. Check those hips. Make sure everything is nice and even and in line. 3, 2, and 1. Lift and add in that extension. So we're bending the knee, drawing the heel in towards the butt, and then straightening it right back out. That foot should be flexed, so you're pulling the toes in towards your shin. Taking those deep breaths in here. Feeling the glutes do some work. Hold tight. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Draw the knee in. Step both feet back out. We're going to hold a forearm plank here. So right back to that original forearm plank. We see this one a lot. I want you to think about nice straight lines here from the base of your skull, down your tailbone to your heels, and across your shoulder blades. Don't let the upper back sort of lift up into that rounded form. 3, 2, and 1. Heels down. Push that butt all the way back into child's pose. We'll count this as our halfway point. So if you want to grab some water, grab it now. Otherwise, get prepared to sort of reverse direction here. Take a deep breath in. So you're familiar with the movement patterns that we're going to move through as we reverse direction. All right, go ahead and draw those shoulders forward again. Step back out. We're going to start with that forearm plank. Taking a deep breath in. We're going to use this hold to wake up the core. Tuck that tailbone. All right, we're going to add in a little bit of a twist here. I just want you to dip the hip, the right hip towards the right side. Through the center, left hip dips towards the left side. And we're just moving nice and slowly, rotating those hips back and forth. You don't have to dip the hip all the way to the mat. It's a really subtle movement here. Remember, keep that back just slightly rounded, only as you twist through from side to side. In control for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop those knees to the mat. Up onto the straight arms here, and we're going to move into fire hydrants, right side. So we're keeping that 90-degree bend, lifting that right leg up to the side, away from the body, nice and high here. Thinking about keeping a nice straight back, tabletop position there. Pulling the abs in towards the spine, and as that right leg lifts up, you want to make sure that you're not letting the shoulders lift as well or rotate to that right side. One more. All right, go ahead and lift up to that side one more time. Extend that leg straight, bend, and bring it to the center of the body. Right side lift, straight, bend, and bring it in. Again, don't let those shoulders open up to the side as we finish up these leg lifts here. One more time, lift, straighten, bend, and bring it in. Fire hydrants, left side only. Lift. No extensions, just that left side lift. You're going to feel that glute, that side glute, more than you did the first time through our kickbacks, right? Because your glutes have been stabilizing. Couple minutes worth of kickback here already. Taking those deep breaths. Don't lose sight of drawing that core in towards the spine. All right, go ahead and lift, hold. Straighten that leg out to the side. Bend and bring it into the center. Lift, straighten, bend, and bring it in. Lift, straighten, bend, and bring it in. One more time. Lift, straighten, bend, and bring it in. Nicely done. We're on all fours here. Let's start on the left side with that upper body rotation. Go ahead and reach straight out in front. Bring that left arm to the T. And then tuck that left hand under the armpit all the way through, shooting towards the wall. Drop that shoulder and right back to the top. As you take those deep breaths in here, this is a really good one to practice that sort of engagement of the core, right? That squeeze. We're feeling super stable because 3 limbs, right? One hand, both knees are on the mat. So squeeze that core and pay attention. And to the front. All the way through here. Make sure you're really twisting through that left shoulder, touches the ground, and then right back out to that T, front, and down. One more this side. Lift. Excellent. Finish up this last rep on the left side, and then go ahead and move right into that right arm. So we're lifting. Give that right arm a little bit of a break from that hold. So same movement here. Keeping the arm nice and straight. You want to think about reaching as far from the body as you can. Feeling that shoulder mobility as you move from the side to the front to under the body. And under. A little bit of a tricep workout here as well. So you're feeling the shoulder and the tricep on that left side. Taking that deep breath in, keeping the abs pulled in towards the spine. Let's do one more on this right side. Tuck. Excellent. And right back to the center. Out and down. Go ahead and step back into that high plank position. 3, 2, and 1. Step in between your hands with your right foot. Leave that left hand on the ground. I want you to open that right hand up to the ceiling. Follow with your torso. Twist. And back down to the mat. Step back into high plank. Sticking to that right side here. Step it forward. Open up into that twist. What you should be feeling here, the biggest twist is kind of coming out of that side glute, right? Your obliques are making the twist, but you're feeling the stretch from the glute down to the hamstring. Always stepping back into that high plank position so that you can reset nice straight body lines and understand where the movement pattern is initiating. Last time, open up to that ceiling. Both hands down to the mat. This time, keep that right foot right where it is. Drop the left knee, and we're going to just move gently into that 90-90. So the right hip gently moves towards the mat. Adjust the body as needed. Remember, the aim is to level those hips and level those shoulders. If you feel comfortable with lifting the fingertips up off the ground, go ahead and do it. If you feel the body shift, because this is core, right? You got to use your core to keep your torso upright here. If you feel like you can't do that without a little bit of support, those fingertips come right back down to the mat. Take a deep breath in here. I want you to think about those shoulders in your back pockets, chest and chin nice and tall. You want to close your eyes here and just feel that stretch. If you can, let go of tension in that left glute, that back glute. That's usually where people sort of hold in this position. And we're going to rotate to the opposite side. So fingertips to the mat. Press that right foot into the floor. Lift the left knee. Rotate through the center. Drop the right knee and find yourself 180 degrees in the opposite direction. Again, use your hands to sort of get yourself into place. Shoulders down and back. Lift those fingertips if you feel comfortable with it. And again, close those eyes and really just focus on letting all of the tension go in the glutes. Again, that back glute is usually where people hold on to some tension. Just give your brain a minute to sort of sink into this a little bit. This is big time stretching here, so deep breath in as you exhale, letting go of any of the tension, any of the squeeze that you're holding onto. Getting ready to move back up into that half kneeling position. So we're going to put our fingertips on the floor. We're going to press that left foot into the mat and just gently lift those hips back up into that half kneeling position. Adjusting as you need to. Hand on either side of that left foot. Straighten that back leg out. You're going to leave the right hand on the mat. Open the left to the ceiling. Rotate that torso all the way through. And then back down to the mat. Step out into that high plank position to reset. And then we're just working that left foot. Again, feeling that stretch through the glute muscle. You should be feeling a little bit flexier. That's not a word, but we're going to use it. Then that first time through. Holding tight as you step into that high plank position. Holding tight to that locked in form. Nice straight lines from the base of the skull through the tailbone to the heels. One more step out. Rotate. And then I'll meet you in that high plank position again for 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to start with those runner's lunges. So stepping to the outside of the hand this time. Sink into that step and then back into high plank position. If you can think about sort of shifting your weight onto that heel of the foot that's stepping forward, give a little bit of a rest to the wrists there. And again, always stepping back into that high plank position. Nice straight lines here. Tuck that tailbone each time. Feeling the quads a little bit here. Definitely feeling the core. Step it forward. Take that deep breath. Moving through here, we have about 10 seconds of runner's lunges, and then we're going to step back into that high plank position. 3, 2, and 1. Find that high plank position. Stack those shoulders over the wrist. Go ahead and gently touch the knees down to the mat, and then right back up into high plank. Touch the knees down, and right back up. Let's go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back up into high plank. Let those hips drop to the mat this time into that deep cobra. We're just going to hold here for just a moment. Lift that chest and chin. Make sure you're finding some space in between the shoulders and the ears. We're going to move from here into that downward dog position. So tuck those toes under, round that back, and pop the hips up towards the ceiling using the core back to that focus, right? Using the core here, draw the hip forward, shoulders forward, drop down into cobra. Settle into cobra, and as soon as you hit that rest spot, right back into that downward dog. Again, I know the shoulders are a little shaky here from support, but I want you to draw all of your focus into the core. You're feeling the core a little bit more, so you should feel a little bit more able to connect to those muscles here. Excellent. Draw forward. Breathing through it, using the core muscles, squeezing and rounding that back just enough to pull the abs up towards the ceiling. Let's go one more up into downward dog. Fully move through that stretch, and then we're just going to come back into high plank position for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Move to those toe touches. Right hand moves back to touch that left toe, and then bring it forward again. Give those shoulders a little bit of a break, one at a time here, but again, I want that focus on the core. Really, really pay attention to the ab muscles doing the work here. A strong core is going to help you get stronger across the board, right? Think about how much core strength you need to do a heavy barbell lift or a deadlift even more, right? Anything that you do in everyday life benefits from a stronger core. Not that we all deadlift heavy in everyday life, but we all pick stuff up every day. Maybe we deadlift every day. All right, moving through it. Keep that core nice and tight. Come back to that high plank position with me for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Jack the hips up towards the ceiling. One more time. Walk those hands towards your toes. Grip the front of the toes so we're in that sort of down portion of the deadlift. Drop the butt, lift the chest and chin. You guys know where we are. Finish line is in sight. So we're moving in between that straight leg bottom of the deadlift and that squat positioning. I'm just going to turn myself around here so I can see what's going on. Feet are a little bit closer together, so you should feel like your butt's dropping a little bit lower into that squat. And I really want you to lift the chest and chin nice and tall when that butt is closer to the ground. Breathing through it here. Let's get a couple more in. Straighten those legs and hold in that straight leg position. 3, 2, and 1. Gently roll those shoulders up and back. Big shoulder rolls here. 1, 2. Take just a slight step out. We're going to go back into those windmills just to finish what we started. Arms up towards the ceiling. Drop that right hand and move that hand down the right side of the body towards that heel. What felt really sort of tight and unusual that first time through should feel a little bit more doable this time. You want to keep your chest and hips facing forward. The palm of the left hand faces forward. So you're really focusing on that shoulder mobility in that upper arm. Imagine having a weight there, right? Imagine how hard this would be. We'll get there. Let's go one more down that right side. Feeling that stretch right up to the top. Right arm up up to the top to meet the left. Drop that left arm. And let's move into windmills on the left side. So again, using the left leg as a sort of lead, a pathway down to the heel. Keeping that back nice and straight. Hips and torso facing forward. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Both hands meet at the top. Let those arms fall to your side. Again, push that butt back one more time. Let's just stretch that back. Take a deep breath. I want you to sink a little bit deeper into this stretch. Slight bend in the knees here. Let your chest fall towards the mat. And then once again, nice and slowly roll those shoulders up and back behind you. If you need to walk those feet in just a little bit, you can. Woo! And that is core and mobility. Boom. I think we should work out to Lake Street Dive all the time.